The year was 1914. Europe stood on the edge of something it didn't yet understand. Borders trembled, empires aged, and beneath the noise of politics and pride, the world held its breath. But before the first bullet was fired, before the trenches scarred the earth, before the sky filled with smoke, something else disappeared, something older than nations, older than flags, older than war itself. It wasn't gold, it wasn't books, it wasn't art, it was sound. For thousands of years, sound had shaped human life, not noise, rhythm, not chaos, harmony, and in 1914, that harmony began to die. For centuries, nearly every European town lived by one rhythm. The ringing of bells, they marked the hours. They called people to prayer, they warned of fire, invasion, and death. They celebrated birth, marriage, peace. From the frozen towers of St. Petersburg to the sunlit cathedrals of Paris, bells were more than instruments, they were the voice of the community. People didn't need clocks, they didn't need announcements. The bell told them who they were and where they belonged. And then, almost overnight, that voice went silent. In the summer of 1914, governments across Europe issued a simple command. All bells must be surrendered. The reason sounded reasonable. Metal was needed, cannons, shells, weapons. The war demanded sacrifice. Posters appeared across cities and villages. Your bell will become victory. Sacrifice sound for freedom. Priests read official letters aloud. Mayors stood stiff and solemn. And slowly, the bells came down. Villagers gathered in silence, ropes creaked, chains tightened. Centuries of history were lowered from towers like fallen kings. People cried, some prayed, others simply watched. Because these bells weren't metal. They were memory. They rang during weddings. They mourned the dead. They marked the rhythm of life itself, and now they were gone. Officials said the bells would be melted immediately. But something felt wrong. In France alone, over 40,000 bells vanished. In Germany, nearly all of them, Austria-Hungary outstripped clean. Yet foundries reported nowhere near that amount of bronze. Shipments were logged, but never confirmed. Trains departed, but never arrived. Paperwork existed, but the metal didn't. And then came the photographs. Old photographs surfaced years later, grainy, faded, unsettling. They showed open fields stretching to the horizon, filled with bells. Thousands of them, not broken, not melted. Placed carefully in rows, some arranged in circles, some in grids. Some in patterns no one could explain, and then nothing. No records of where these fields were. No maps, no locations, as if the land itself erased them. A woman from southern Germany once spoke of it. She was a child. They took our bells to a field, she said. They just waited there. Waiting. That word appears again and again in forgotten letters. Farmers refused to bring animals near the sites. Priests reported unease, a pressure in the air. Some claimed they heard faint ringing on the wind. Long after the bells were gone, then one day, the fields were empty. No bells, no tracks, no explanation. After the war, cities rebuilt, statues returned, churches reopened, nations healed, but the bells never came back. Governments offered excuses, funding issues. Logistical problems, lost records. But historians noticed something disturbing. The numbers didn't add up. Too much bronze disappeared. Too little was ever reused. And in multiple countries. The same story repeated. That's not chaos. That's coordination. Some researchers began asking dangerous questions. What if the bells weren't weapons? What if they were tools? Ancient cultures believed sound shaped reality. Modern science now agrees. Vibration affects matter. Sound organizes sand into geometry. It influences water. It affects the human nervous system. Now imagine sound, scaled to a city. Across Eurasia once stood a network of towers, not random, not decorative. Their spacing followed mathematical ratios found in music: octaves, fifths, harmonics. When bells rang together, their vibrations overlapped. Not noise, resonance, cities became instruments. People lived inside the sound. Some ancient texts describe peace, clarity, even healing. A world tuned, not ruled. Then came 1914, and in just a few years, the network was gone, the bells were removed. The knowledge disappeared, the silence spread. Technology replaced resonance. Speed replaced rhythm, noise replaced harmony. And humanity forgot how to listen. What if the bells weren't taken for war? What if they were silenced because they worked? What if they balanced something too powerful to control? A system that made people calmer, connected, harder to manipulate. And what if that's why history never talks about them? Today, the towers still stand, empty, silent, waiting, and sometimes when the wind moves just right, some say they can still feel it, a vibration, a memory, a reminder of a world that once listened. Because when sound disappeared, something in us went quiet too. And maybe the real question isn't what happened to the bells. Maybe the question is, what happens when they ring again? Guys, if you want to watch the full video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to turn on the bell icon, so you get notified as soon as the full video is uploaded. Thanks for staying with us. See you very soon with the full video.